11, safe 1 minute, gone the next. A driver's plea to the thief who stole her car while recovering in the hospital. Plus, an annual tradition continues in Portland. We're taking a look at how people are celebrating St. Patrick's Day. But first, shining a light on the safety issue. Why neighbors say they're being left in the dark when it comes to these changes at their local park.
This is KGW News at 11.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Bagby in for David Molko tonight. And we start this evening with controversy over changes at several Portland parks. The city is removing hundreds of light poles. An inspection showed that they were potentially hazardous. But as Catherine Cook reports, many are more concerned over losing the light safety benefits while waiting for replacements.
Look around Selwood Park, and you might notice something in this picture is missing.
And I'm like, I bet there were lampposts there before and now they're gone.
The city removed 17 of the park's 23 lampposts, putting these orange cones in their place.
And I don't know why, but that's a bummer.
Signs around the park explain the city's light pole safety project. Portland Parks and Rec recently inspected 1,000 light poles. Some of them were more than 100 years old. They found that 243 of them across 12 parks were structurally unsound and had to be removed. Nearly all of the parks on the list are in southeast Portland. That includes Mount Tabor. 81 of its 216 light poles will also be removed and replaced. The city estimates the project will cost $15 million, but right now they only have $5 million slated to cover it. So while all the lights are coming out now, it's unclear when funding will be available to replace them.
And if there's no lights in the park, then I would feel like I couldn't come to the park even at dusk. You know, it wouldn't feel safe for me. I feel like that's even a bigger public safety issue than whatever happened that caused this to happen in the first place.
The light pole project follows legal action taken against the city. As first reported by the Willamette Week, an attorney sent the city a tort claim last summer. It alleged that the plaintiff was injured after laying in a hammock tied to a cement lamppost and a tree in Irving Park. The claim says the post broke, falling on the plaintiff. With that in mind, some park users understand what the city is doing.
It is annoying to not have light when it's dark out, but even one catastrophic mishap is really catastrophic, and that's probably what the city is trying to balance.
The Friends of Mount Tabor Park sent the mayor this letter, asking the city to slow the light pole removals on the grounds of safety and historic preservation. KGW asked Portland Parks why they couldn't just repair the light poles in question. A park spokesperson told us their team evaluated that option and it was not recommended. They added, to properly address safety issues with anchoring would also require addressing the poles and their foundations.
I mean, I feel like it's a little excessive.
It's a tough one for many park goers left in the dark.
If they had hung it between two trees and the branch fell, are they going to cut down the whole tree? No, of course not. Well, maybe they would. I don't know.
The Parks Bureau plans to have park rangers prioritize visiting the affected parks at night. They also plan to close parks with diminished lighting early at 10 p.m. Sarah, back to you.
Thank you, Catherine. And now to our continuing coverage, where tonight a candlelight vigil was held in Gresham in hopes to save Legacy's Medical's Mount Hood Family Birth Center. Now, as we reported earlier, Legacy said it would close the birthing center today. Now, this is due to low volume of births coupled with a high-cost care model that required round-the-clock staffing. But before that can officially happen, the hospital needs to be granted a waiver from the state. The Oregon's health authority says they got a request from Legacy Health regarding Mount Hood's birth center earlier this month, but they haven't granted that waiver yet. Regardless, those at the vigil tonight say they're not backing down.
All of the nurses are here tonight in support, in honor of, and in hope that Legacy will change their mind and make a better choice.
The state also pointed out there could be consequences should Legacy close the birth center without a waiver. OHSU says as of now, its approval is still pending. In developing news, a suspect has been arrested in a 2021 homicide in Portland's Goose Hollow neighborhood. And a Portland Police Bureau employee is also facing charges in the case. A grand jury has indicted 38-year-old Bruce Shearer for manslaughter and assault. His wife, Karen Cheerer, has worked as an administrative supervisor for the Portland Police for 28 years. She also faces charges for hindering prosecution, official misconduct, and tampering with physical evidence. The victim in the case was found dead in the street near Providence Park back in April 2021. Now let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. We've got an update on a deadly shooting earlier this week at a hotel near PDX. Authorities have revealed today that 2 more people were hurt, including a security guard. Both are expected to survive. The shooting happened earlier Wednesday morning at the Embassy Suites on Northeast 82nd and Airport Way. 2 people were killed along with the injured victims that we just mentioned. There's no word on what led to the shooting or if they've made arrests. We now know the name of the homicide victim whose body was found in southeast Portland on Monday. Police say 38-year-old Brian Vinge was shot and killed. He was found lying dead in the street just after 3:30 Monday morning. A large section of the Hazelwood neighborhood has closed around southeast 141st Avenue from Harrison all the way to Division for several hours. Now, so far, police haven't made any arrests or identified a suspect. And Sandy police are looking for this man involved in an alleged carjacking. 28-year-old Carlos Sanchez is accused of taking a gray 2004 Toyota Camry. Now, police say he has ties to Sandy and Lebanon, Oregon, but he may be in the Portland metro area tonight. And they do believe he is armed and dangerous, so don't approach him if you see him, and please call the police. Frustration for a Washington County woman. While she was laid up recovering from surgery, somebody was stealing her car. Now, this happened at the OHSU's Center for Health and Healing. And as Mike Benner reports, it's part of the rising trend of car thefts in Portland.
Who steals from a hospital?
It's a question that's been eating away at Ashley Sturge, at least since earlier this week, when the 30-year-old Washington County woman was at OHSU's Center for Health and Healing, recovering from surgery. Ashley says her husband parked the couple's car in the garage below the South Waterfront building.
I'm disabled, so we're at hospitals all the time, and I've never once thought that my car was in danger when I parked there.
Boy, was Ashley wrong. Sometime between Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning, somebody stole her Kia Sorento, similar to the one you see here. Devastation washed over Ashley, but that's not all.
It was more of just like, because I had literally just spoken to my doctors about the possibility of going home that day. And so that immediately jumped to like, well, how am I going to get home? Or how am I going to get to any of my follow-up appointments?
While it won't make her feel any better, Ashley is not alone, not by a long shot. Last year in Portland, more than 10,800 vehicles were stolen. That's up from approximately 9,000 in 2021 and 6,400 in 2020. These statistics put Portland near the top nationally when it comes to car thefts per 100,000 residents.
It's greatly impacting our community.
Lieutenant Norman Staples works out of the Portland Police Bureau's East Precinct. He plays a major role in the Bureau's stolen vehicle missions that are making a difference. In fact, during a recent operation, officers recovered 8 stolen cars and made more than a dozen arrests.
We've had conversations with the district attorney himself and multiple senior DAs to address the prosecution aspect. And what we've done is we've started to develop a process to ensure that these cases, these stolen car cases, get prosecuted and that the suspects that we arrest are indicted for those crimes.
If anybody hopes the effort pays off, it's Ashley Sturge, who's putting her effort into locating her stolen car.
I just kind of hope it's still at least usable. The idea of going through and trying to buy another car sounds like a nightmare.
I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
In developing news, Multnomah County says more than 2,000 people have had their personal information compromised after a break-in at a clinic. It happened during President's Day weekend last month at the Moody Building in North Portland. The county says the investigation revealed the burglar accessed rooms that held paper records of client information. Now that includes things like emails and social security numbers. The county is reaching out to anyone who may have been affected, and police did arrest a suspect this week.